In my 30 years of watching people, I've learned that he who has too many friends has no friends. Your attention, your resources are not limitless. Seneca. Chapter 1. The Leaking Vessel. The leaking vessel, your power, it's draining, not from enemies but from you. We will expose these invisible holes before your vessel runs dry. 2,000 years ago, Vlad the Impaler understood what most still refuse to see. Power is not just built, it's silently drained. They tell you to be kind, to be open, to earn respect through endless giving. This is a lie. Right now, your personal power, your influence, your very standing might be bleeding out through invisible holes, and you're the one holding the sieve. These aren't grand betrayals, they are subtle, self-inflicted wounds, small concessions, crumbled boundaries, needless explanations, each a drip, drip, drip. Each tells them, without a word, your resources are cheap, your time free, your respect negotiable. When you consistently defer, when you always give way, people will not praise your humility. They will sense weakness. They will interpret your quiet nature as a lack of conviction, your patience as an invitation to exploit. Your willingness to compromise becomes a signal that your core values are flexible and therefore worthless. If you announce your new boundaries, if you loudly declare your worth, people will test them. They will push and prod looking for the soft spots you just exposed. But if you quietly embody your worth, if you simply stop tolerating disrespect, there's nothing for them to challenge. Your actions become the unwritten law. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, understood the true battlefield lies within. He spoke not of armies, but of controlling your mind, your reactions, your emotional drains. Your greatest leaks are not external attacks, but internal permissions. Your thoughts, anxieties, fear of disapproval are the true cracks that drain your resolve. You betray yourself first, you second-guess your instincts, you allow others' opinions to weigh heavier than your own judgment. This internal wavering projects outward. They don't respect you because you don't fully respect yourself. The world reflects back the image you present, not the image you wish to project. The first crack in your vessel is the urge to constantly explain. Your motives, your plans, your struggles, you lay them bare, thinking transparency builds trust. It does not, it creates openings. Every time you explain yourself, you move from offensive to defensive. The moment they know you need their understanding, they gain something to use against you. They don't see your sincerity, they see your desperation for approval. They don't respect your honesty, they note your vulnerabilities. You become predictable, you lose the edge of mystery, that subtle power that keeps others guessing. Your words become cheap, your presence becomes less impactful. Here's how you seal this leak. Speak less, act more. Let your results be the explanation. Let your presence be the statement. Preserve your energy. Guard your internal world. The less they know about the engine room, the more they respect the ship sailing smoothly above the waves. Silence is a shield. This constant, casual self-disclosure is a slow bleed. It drains your mystique, it erodes your boundaries, it invites others to probe and to judge because you've given them the blueprints to your internal architecture. Your words are currency, spend them wisely, or you'll find yourself bankrupt of respect. But there's another leak, equally insidious, one that destroys your credibility even faster than over-explanation. It's the silent agreement you make with mediocrity. What is it? Chapter 2. The Approval Trap. The approval trap. It cripples potential. When others dictate your value, you become a puppet. I will show you how this weakness is perceived and exploited. The approval trap is the silent killer. It's the desperate, often unconscious need for others to validate your worth, your decisions, your very existence. This isn't just about wanting praise. It's about altering your course, your beliefs, your posture, to fit what you think others want to see. You become a chameleon, constantly shifting your colors. When you operate from a place of seeking approval, you broadcast weakness. People sense this. They see you adjust your sails to every passing wind of opinion, making you predictable, pliable. Your value, in their eyes, isn't inherent. It's conditional, dependent on their fleeting whims. They know they can nudge you, manipulate you, because your core is not fixed. Every nod you seek, every hesitant glance for reassurance, chips away at your perceived authority. You're telling them, without words, that you don't trust your own judgment. You become less a leader, more a follower. Even when you hold a position of power, your decisions lose their weight because they seem born from consensus, not conviction. Watch what happens when someone presents an idea, then immediately looks around the room, searching for nods of agreement. They will pivot, backtrack, soften their stance at the first sign of lukewarm reception. Their initial conviction, if it ever existed, dissolves. They can't stand firm. Here's how you shut down the approval trap. Cultivate a ruthless self-reliance for validation. Your internal scoreboard is the only one that matters. Focus on objective results, personal integrity, and the quiet satisfaction of mastering your own path. Their opinions become background noise. Train yourself to be indifferent to both praise and criticism. Praise inflates the ego and makes you dependent. Criticism, if unfounded, is a distraction. If it's valid, it's data for quiet improvement, not an emotional wound. Neither should sway your fundamental trajectory. If you constantly announce your achievements, hoping for applause, or share your vulnerabilities, fishing for sympathy, people will recognize your hunger. They will either withhold their validation to control you, or offer it cheaply, knowing it's all you crave. You become an easy mark. But if you quietly execute, if you let your actions speak for themselves, there's nothing for them to dissect or exploit. You act because it is right, because it is strategic, because it is necessary. Their praise or disapproval becomes irrelevant. Your power comes from within. Sigmund Freud, the pioneer of psychoanalysis, understood how much of our behavior stems from unconscious drives. He observed that a fragile ego, lacking true self-assurance, constantly seeks external praise to feel complete. This unending search for validation, he suggested, is often a subconscious attempt to compensate for deep-seated insecurity, turning others into unwitting judges. Confucius, the ancient Chinese sage, taught that the superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. He emphasized inner cultivation and ethical conduct, not the pursuit of popular acclaim. For Confucius, true respect came from consistent, virtuous living, not from bending to fleeting public opinion. Your character, he suggested, is your true currency. This relentless chase for external validation creates a hollow core, leaving you vulnerable to manipulation. It's a self-inflicted wound, making you predictable and easily swayed. But there is another common mistake, a dark shadow that creeps into your interactions, causing people to doubt your very intentions, one that turns trust into suspicion. What is it? Chapter 3, The Explainer's Ruin. The Explainer's Ruin, a silent killer of respect. You believe you build understanding, but you only tear down your own authority. This habit screams insecurity. This leads us to the third sin, a silent killer of respect. The explainer's ruin. It is the compulsive need to justify every decision, every action, every slight silence. You believe you are building understanding, but you are only tearing down your own authority. This habit screams insecurity, broadcasting to everyone that you lack conviction in your own choices. Every time you feel compelled to explain yourself, you drain your power. You move from a position of quiet strength to a desperate plea for understanding, or worse, for approval. This isn't about clear communication. It's about a deep-seated fear of judgment, and people sense it instantly. They recognize the weakness, the desire to be liked, the urgent need for validation. Think about the person who, when questioned about a simple decision, immediately launches into a detailed, convoluted saga. They drown you in context, in reasons, in the intricate web of why no one truly asked for. Their voice speeds up, their eyes dart, their hands gesture wildly, attempting to fill every silence with more words, more justifications, more excuses. Watch what happens when you do this. The listener, initially curious, quickly becomes bored, then suspicious. They begin to pick apart your elaborate explanation, searching for the crack in your armor, the lie in your narrative. Your words lose their weight, your actions lose their impact, and your presence shrinks under the burden of your own explanations. You give them a weapon to use against you. Here's how you reclaim your power. Become an individual of few words, particularly when challenged. When you execute a decision, let the outcome speak for itself. A simple, decisive statement like, "It was handled," or "This is the path," carries more weight than 1,000 carefully constructed justifications. Your actions, unburdened by lengthy preambles, gain gravity. If you rush to explain, people immediately sense your insecurity, your need for acceptance. They will probe, they will question, they will take control of the conversation because you've handed it to them. But if you hold your counsel, if you let your quiet confidence speak, then they are forced to confront the results, not your anxieties. They have nothing to pick apart, nothing to argue against, only a completed fact. Abraham Lincoln, a master of calculated silence and deliberate action, rarely wasted words on unnecessary explanations. He understood that a leader's integrity was built not on apologies or verbose justifications, but on the consistent, quiet execution of one's duty. His strength came from his resolve, not his rhetoric. The ancient strategist Sun Tzu wrote that all warfare is based on deception. He understood that revealing your intentions, your justifications, your inner workings is to hand your opponent the blueprint to defeat you. Every unnecessary word is a troop positioned where it can be attacked, a strategic advantage given away for free. By choosing silence over explanation, you force others to judge you on your results, not your narrative. You deny them the opportunity to chip away at your resolve with questions, doubts, and feigned misunderstandings. You project an impenetrable front of certainty. This deliberate silence creates an aura of mystique, even competence. People begin to attribute greater wisdom and deeper reasoning to your actions because you refuse to lay them bare. They must infer your depth rather than having it explained to them. But there is another corrosive habit, one that makes you appear weak and easily swayed, eroding the very foundation of your respect, one that turns you into a puppet of external whims. What is it? Chapter 4, The Open Hand. The open hand, a fatal generosity. This diminishes your worth, making you a predictable resource. Learn how your eagerness to give makes you a fool. The sin you commit without realizing it, the one that makes others see you as a willing servant rather than a respected equal, is the sin of the open hand. You offer too much, too soon, before it is earned, before it is even asked for. This eagerness to provide, to assist, to solve problems for others diminishes your perceived value. You believe you are being generous, building goodwill, proving your worth, but what you are actually doing is setting a precedent for imbalance. You train people to expect your input, your resources, your time, without having to invest anything themselves. They learn you are always available, always ready to extend yourself, and this constant availability cheapens your presence. Watch what happens when you jump to offer solutions the moment someone hints at a problem, or when you freely share your best ideas in casual conversation. You give away your intellectual capital, your energy, and your time for free. Your generosity, intended as a bridge, becomes a gangplank for others to walk across, taking what they want without a second thought for what they leave behind. Think about the friend who always pays for dinner, the co-worker who always takes on extra tasks, the partner who is constantly compromising. Initially, they might be appreciated, but soon, that appreciation fades into expectation. Their actions become the new baseline, and anything less than Constant overgiving is seen as a slight or even a failure on their part. This is how respect eroding into entitlement. Here's how you reclaim your ground. Stop offering. Stop anticipating needs. Let the void exist. When someone voices a problem or a need, pause, listen, but do not immediately leap to action. Observe. The strategic move is to allow others to articulate their specific requests, to demonstrate their own effort, before you consider extending your hand. Your resources, your knowledge, your time, these are valuable assets. Treat them as such. Do not broadcast your willingness to help or solve. Let your assistance be a rare, calculated intervention, not a reflex. This forces others to acknowledge the effort required to gain your support, making them value it more when it finally comes. If you constantly announce your intentions to help or eagerly present solutions, people will see you as desperate for approval, or worse, easily manipulated. They will take your offerings for granted and your efforts will go unappreciated. But if you quietly hold your cards close, if you make your assistance contingent on clear mutual benefit, there is nothing for them to exploit. As Lao Tzu wrote, "He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough." What he understood is that true power often lies in restraint, in not overextending oneself. When you hold back, you create space for others to step up, to contribute, and to value what you eventually decide to give. You become a sought-after resource, not an open faucet. This is not about being selfish. It is about establishing boundaries and demanding respect. It is about recognizing that your energy is finite and must be deployed strategically. When you give without discernment, you deplete your own reserves, leaving you with less to offer when it truly matters, and fostering a transactional dynamic where you are always at a deficit. Seneca, the Roman philosopher, understood the importance of self-mastery and the careful management of one's own resources. He would say, "The greatest power is that over oneself." This applies not only to controlling your desires, but also to controlling your impulses, to give, to please, to solve. Chapter 5. Your visible chains. Visible chains. The foolish expose their vulnerabilities for all to see. A profound error. They become maps to your destruction. The next sin stripping away respect is the public display of your vulnerabilities. These are your visible chains. They are not metal, but the raw parts of your inner world you expose without thought. Every insecurity, past failure, and hidden fear you confess becomes an easy target. When you broadcast your anxieties, you give others a map to your weaknesses. They learn precisely where to push to make you flinch, to yield, to break. Your weaknesses become their weapons. Your trust becomes their leverage in every interaction. People recoil from open wounds, or worse, they prod them. They see your fragile points and mark them for future use. Consider the person who constantly overshares their financial struggles or self-doubt at work. Initial sympathy quickly turns to quiet disdain. Others begin to doubt their judgment, their capacity, their very worth. Your visible chains make you appear fragile, easily manipulated, unreliable for serious matters. Here's how you seal these leaks. Cultivate an internal fortress. Understand your own shadows, but do not invite others to dance in them. Your struggles are for you to conquer, not for others to observe or exploit. Power comes from impenetrable calm, unreadable strength, even when internally fighting a storm. If you broadcast every insecurity, people will treat you as fragile, uncertain, a burden. They will see someone to be handled or dismissed. But if you quietly acknowledge internal battles and face them with silent resolve, there is nothing for them to grab onto. No chain to pull, no weakness to target. Your composure becomes a shield. Carl Jung spoke of the shadow self, the unconscious aspects of your personality. He urged us to make the darkness conscious. This means you confront your weaknesses, not parade them. Understand them, integrate them, but never expose them to the predatory gaze of the world. Your internal work is precisely that, internal. When you lay bare your deep-seated fears, You implicitly ask for permission to be weak. You signal a lack of internal fortitude to handle your own burdens. This invites subtle, insidious disrespect. Others treat you as less capable, less strong, less worthy of a true challenge. They will test your boundaries because you have already shown them where those boundaries crumble. Friedrich Nietzsche observed human nature and the will to power. He believed that that which does not kill us makes us stronger. This isn't an invitation to overshare hardships for sympathy. It's a call to use internal battles to forge a tougher spirit. To show weakness openly is to invite the world to participate in your undoing instead of witnessing your quiet triumph. The wise individual understands self-disclosure as a strategic act, not a confessional impulse. You choose what to reveal, when, and to whom based on its calculated effect. Your inner landscape is private territory. You decide who sees the blueprints and who only sees the finished, unbreachable walls. This control is not dishonesty. This deliberate withholding of your vulnerable self builds an aura of strength. People respect what they cannot fully grasp. They respect what they cannot fully grasp. They respect someone who stands on their own, unburdened by the need for external validation. Your perceived independence becomes a barrier to manipulation and a foundation for genuine, earned respect. But there is another insidious trap, one that masquerades as generosity but drains you just as effectively. What is it? Chapter 6, The Announcer's Fall. Beware the siren call of your own voice. You broadcast your future, believe its strength, yet it's truly a fatal weakness. Learn why. The next insidious trap, one that masquerades as generosity but drains you just as effectively, is the announcer's fall. This is the compulsion to broadcast your intentions, your future moves, your grand plans long before they become reality. You tell everyone what you will do, not what you have done. This impulse often comes from a need for external validation, for early applause, but it inevitably leaves you exposed and vulnerable. When you announce your goals, you fracture your energy. You give away your strategic advantage, allowing others to prepare defenses, to undermine your efforts, or even to steal your ideas before you can execute them. You invite a barrage of skepticism from those who doubt your capability and envy from those who resent your ambition. Each announcement is a promise, and every unfulfilled promise erodes your credibility, leaving you looking weak and unreliable. Watch what happens when you loudly proclaim your next big venture to a room full of people. Suddenly, every armchair critic feels entitled to offer unsolicited advice. Every competitor gets a head start to counter you, and every lukewarm friend waits for you to stumble so they can say, "I told you so." They don't see your ambition, they see your potential failure. They will pick apart your vision, not because they care, but because your future success threatens their present comfort. Here's how you disarm this trap. You cultivate a profound silence. You move like a phantom, building your empire brick by brick, away from the prying eyes and the draining chatter. Your actions speak, not your words. You allow your accomplishments to be the first notification of your progress. This strategy preserves your energy, protects your vulnerabilities, and builds an undeniable mystique around your capabilities. If you announce your grand aspirations, people will immediately search for flaws, waiting for you to flinch. They will offer their doubt as a form of protection, subtly hoping you fall. But if you quietly execute your plans, then present a finished, undeniable product, there is nothing for them to challenge or sabotage. They are left with only the undeniable reality of your success, and that commands a different kind of respect. Napoleon Bonaparte, a master strategist, understood the power of the unannounced move. He rarely telegraphed his intentions, preferring to strike with overwhelming force when least expected. What he understood is that a declared intention is a weakened position, an open flank for your adversaries to exploit. Your plans are a secret weapon. Broadcasting them is like handing your enemy the blueprint. The energy you spend talking about what you will do is energy you are not spending actually doing it. This mental expenditure, this constant rehashing of future victories, depletes the very drive you need for execution. It's a form of self-sabotage, an illusion of progress that leaves you perpetually chasing the ghost of an unmade future. Leonardo da Vinci, who often worked in meticulous secrecy on his grandest inventions and artworks, understood that true creation demands an undisturbed focus. He knew that revealing a work in progress invites premature judgment and dilutes the artist's singular vision. What he understood is that the moment you speak of a future masterpiece, you divide your attention, allowing the external world to impose its expectations on your internal creative process. This quiet, relentless execution is not about being secretive for the sake of it. It is about strategic energy management. It is about recognizing that every word you utter about your future chips away at your present focus. It is about denying others the opportunity to derail you before you even begin. Chapter 7. The Emotional Ache. An open wound. Your heart is not a public fountain. To spill your feelings is to offer a blade to your enemies, exposing the very core of your strategic self. But there is another kind of leak, far more insidious, one that drains your power from within and turns your deepest self into an open book for your enemies. This is the emotional ache. It is the raw, unfiltered display of your feelings, the eruption of anger, the torrent of frustration, the public wallowing in self-pity. Each uncontrolled outburst is a gift to those who would see you fall. Your emotions are not merely internal states. They are a currency, a strategic resource. When you squander them in a public display, you reveal your pressure points. You show them what gets under your skin, what breaks your composure, what makes you flinch. This information is priceless to anyone looking to manipulate or control you. They see your triggers and they will pull them. Watch what happens when someone in a position of power, someone you respect, suddenly loses their temper. Their authority crumbles, their aura of control shatters. They become human, yes, but also predictable and vulnerable. Their calm facade was a shield, and by dropping it, they invite attack, they invite disrespect. Here's how you seal this leak. You cultivate an inner fortress. You practice the art of the poker face, not just with your mouth, but with your eyes, your posture, your breathing. You learn to feel the storm inside without letting a single drop spill to the surface. Your composure becomes a weapon, a silent declaration that you are untouchable, unreadable. Plato, in his study of the human soul, spoke of reason as a charioteer guiding the wild horses of passion. What he understood is that your intellect must be the master of your emotional drives. If those horses run wild, they drag your chariot, and you, wherever they please, making you a slave to impulse and a target for anyone with a whip. Think about the boss who never raises their voice, even when chaos reigns. Think about the opponent who smiles calmly after a setback. They project an impenetrable strength. They give no ground, no tells, no clues. Their silence and stillness are not weakness. They are a calculated refusal to surrender control. Contrast this with the person who needs to vent, who needs to rage, who needs to explain their pain to every passing ear. They are not seeking understanding, they are seeking validation for their weakness. They are actively inviting others to judge them, to pity them, or worse, to exploit their exposed nerve endings. Aristotle, observing the path to a well-lived life, taught that virtue lies in the golden mean, a balance between extremes. This applies not just to moral action, but to strategic emotional control. The wise individual does not suppress emotion entirely, for that is unnatural, but they avoid the extremes of unbridled expression and cold detachment. They find the exact point of controlled, strategic display. This calculated restraint forces others to guess, to project their own fears and intentions onto your blank canvas. It denies them the satisfaction of seeing you crack. It denies them the map to your vulnerabilities. You become an enigma, and enigmas command a different kind of respect. They command caution. The moment you let your emotions dictate your public presence, you stop playing the game and become a piece in theirs. You become reactive, predictable, and easily led. They wait for you to flinch, and you always do. But there is a third sin, one that poisons your reputation before you even open your mouth. It is the quiet, insidious erosion of your credibility, the slow death of your word. What is it? Chapter 8, The Fading Line. The fading line, a silent killer. This slow decay of authority, this blurring of your decrees, is not merely a tactical error. It is a betrayal of self. The third sin is the fading line. It's the slow, imperceptible retreat from the standards you set, the boundaries you drew. You build a wall, you announce its presence, then little by little, you allow cracks to form. Each compromise, each time you let someone step over, each failure to enforce what you said you would, that line blurs. Soon, it's not a line. It's just a suggestion. This erosion destroys you because it signals weakness, a lack of conviction. They don't just disrespect your boundaries, they disrespect you for failing to uphold them. They learn your no means maybe, your never means just wait. You teach them how to treat you. By allowing them to test and cross your lines without consequence, you teach them you are soft. Watch what happens when you tell a friend you won't lend them money, only to cave next time they ask. Or when you set a strict work schedule, but repeatedly answer emails late. Your initial resolve means nothing. They see your flinching, your hesitation, and learn that persistence, not respect, gets what they want from you. Here's how you enforce the line. You never explain it twice. As Mahatma Gandhi understood, true strength comes from an indomitable will, not physical capacity. He declared, a no uttered from the deepest conviction is better than a yes, merely uttered to please, or worse, to avoid trouble. What he understood is, your word must be as unbreakable as your will, a silent force needing no justification. You don't argue, you don't justify, you just act. If you said no, then no, it remains, regardless of their pleas. If you set a deadline, you stick to it. If you declared a consequence, you deliver it. Your actions become your explanation, a cold, hard truth speaking louder than any defense. If you announce a boundary and then waffle, people push further, testing your resolve. They see an invitation to negotiate. But if you quietly and consistently enforce it, there's nothing to negotiate. There is only a fixed reality they must adapt to, or be excluded. They hit a wall, not the illusion of one. Failing to enforce your lines brings a deeper disrespect than any direct insult. It's the disrespect of being seen as a paper tiger, of having your word devalued. You become a person whose pronouncements are empty, whose threats are bluffs. You become someone they can walk over because you taught them you would let them. Socrates, the ancient Athenian philosopher, taught, the unexamined life is not worth living. What he understood is that self-respect begins with knowing your values and living by them without compromise. To betray your own standards, to allow your lines to fade, is to live an unexamined life, ignorant of your own power. Make your boundaries invisible but impenetrable. Don't shout your rules, embody them. Let others discover your lines, not by your warnings, but by the quiet, unyielding resistance they encounter when they try to cross. Your consistency becomes the barrier itself. When you consistently hold your ground, never flinching, never explaining, something shifts. They may not like your boundaries, but they will respect the unshakable force behind them. They learn you are a person of principle, someone whose word means something. But there is one final, silent sin that undermines everything you build, a subtle poison that warps how others see you, even when you play perfectly. What is this hidden trap? Chapter 9, The Empty Promise. Broken vows, a ruler's greatest weakness. This chapter unveils the silent poison of unfulfilled promises and how to avoid becoming a walking contradiction. It is the empty promise, the word spoken lightly, the commitment made without the iron will to see it through. This is the third sin, the one that makes everyone silently question your worth, your capabilities, and ultimately, your very character. You might think your intentions are good, but every unfulfilled pledge chips away at your foundation. What you announce, what you declare, what you commit to, these are not just sounds in the air. They are promissory notes drawn on your reputation. When you fail to deliver, when your actions do not match your language, you become a walking contradiction. People log these discrepancies. They weigh them, using them to determine if you are reliable, if you are someone worth investing in. Watch what happens when someone consistently declares grand intentions, big plans, or decisive actions, only for those declarations to evaporate into thin air. They will say they are starting a new business or going to the gym every day, but days turn into weeks and nothing changes. The business never launches, the gym membership collects dust. At first, people might offer encouragement, even excuses for you, but over time, their perception shifts. Initial hope gives way to skepticism, then indifference, and finally quiet disdain. They stop listening to your words because they have learned your words hold no weight. Your pronouncements become background static, indicating weakness. To weaponize your consistency, become a person of silent action. Do not broadcast intentions, do not declare strategies, and certainly do not make promises you cannot absolutely keep. Your moves are made in the shadows, your work done unseen, and your results speak for themselves. This protects your credibility. When you speak, your words become valuable because they are rare and always followed by execution. You train people to expect substance from you, not just sound. Your silence builds anticipation. Your delivery solidifies your reputation as someone who gets things done. The fool announces their glorious future plans, seeking validation and premature praise, only to wither under the pressure of execution. They mistake projection for progress, believing speaking about something is the same as doing it. But when you quietly work, revealing your hand only when it's played, there is nothing for anyone to doubt. They cannot criticize what they do not know. They cannot undermine what they did not see coming. Your results arrive like a sudden, undeniable force, leaving no room for argument or disbelief. This strategy strips others of the ability to judge your intentions, forcing them to confront only your finished achievements. Winston Churchill, who understood the immense power of words and action, famously said that courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. He embodied this courage by acting on his words, making monumental promises, and rallying a nation to fulfill them. A leader's word, if honored, inspires millions. If broken, it exposes fatal weakness. Nelson Mandela's life was defined by unwavering commitment. His consistency was a form of political power. He never wavered from his core message, even through decades of imprisonment. His steadfast refusal to compromise his principles built unshakable trust among supporters and eventually forced opponents to listen. True leadership is built on integrity that endures every trial. Your word is your bond, your currency, your ultimate weapon. When you consistently honor it, you build an invisible fortress of respect. But what happens when you turn these three sins inward, corrupting your own self-perception and draining your inner strength? This is the most dangerous battlefield of all. Chapter 10, the concession loop. Know this truth: your respect is not stolen, but surrendered. Each small concession, a chip from your foundation, soon your fortress is but dust. The most insidious drain on your respect is not an external attack, but an internal surrender, the concession loop. It begins subtly, with a small compromise you make to keep the peace, to avoid friction, or to gain temporary favor. You tell yourself it's just this once, a minor adjustment, but you've opened a door. Every time you give ground, you teach others that your boundaries are flexible, your standards negotiable. They learn that if they push hard enough, persist long enough, or simply wait you out, you will eventually cave. This isn't about healthy give and take. This is about a consistent, one-sided erosion of your position. They don't respect a moving target. Your word becomes cheap. Your resolve looks soft, your authority dissolves. People smell weakness, like sharks smell blood, and they will circle, testing your limits, pushing for more, until there's nothing left for you to defend. Think about the friend who always forgets to pay you back, the co-worker who always asks you to cover their shift, or the family member who always needs just a little more of your time or money. You started by saying yes to a small request, then a slightly larger one, then a burden. Each time you believed you were being generous, but you were merely training them to exploit your generosity. Watch what happens when you finally try to draw a line. They react with shock, anger, or guilt-tripping, because in their mind, you're not enforcing a boundary, you're changing the rules of engagement that you established. You are the one being unreasonable, because you previously demonstrated an endless capacity for yielding. Here's how you break the loop. You must understand that the first no is the easiest and the most crucial. It costs you the least. Every yes that goes against your true interest makes the next no exponentially harder, creating more drama and resentment when it finally comes. Julius Caesar understood this principle profoundly. He famously said, "I came, I saw, I conquered." He did not negotiate endlessly with every tribe or general. He presented his terms, and if they were rejected, he acted decisively. What he understood is that displaying unwavering resolve early on saves immense effort and prevents future concessions. His approach left no room for doubt about his final stance. Most people, when faced with pressure, enter a spiraling negotiation with themselves and others. They announce their position, then waffle, then offer a new, lesser position, then a new, even weaker one. They believe they are showing flexibility, but they are only revealing their lack of conviction. They become a marketplace where every demand can be met at a discount. But if you establish your boundary, state your terms, and then remain silent, there is nothing for them to exploit. There is no new position to negotiate towards. Your unwavering silence becomes the loudest statement of all. Your initial stance becomes an immovable object, and they are left with only two choices: accept it or walk away. Alexander the Great, in his relentless pursuit of expansion, rarely compromised his strategic objectives. When faced with the seemingly insurmountable Gordian knot, he didn't attempt to untie it slowly or make concessions. He simply cut through it. This symbolic act was a masterclass in demonstrating that some problems don't require endless negotiation. They demand a decisive, uncompromising solution. He knew that showing hesitation in the face of a challenge would only invite more challenges. The concession loop isn't just about what you give away, it's about what you lose of yourself. It's the slow, quiet surrender of your own self-respect, mirrored in the diminishing regard of others. Stop negotiating with your own integrity. Chapter 11, The Mirror Image. The mirror image, your silent projection. It is the blueprint for how others will treat you. Every move, every word, a reflection of your own self-worth. The concession loop isn't just about what you give away, it's about what you lose of yourself. It's the slow, quiet surrender of your own self-respect, mirrored in the diminishing regard of others. Stop negotiating with your own integrity. This continuous erosion leads to a deeper, more insidious trap, the mirror image. It is the silent projection of your inner state, reflecting back to you exactly how others will choose to treat you. Your own assessment of your worth becomes the blueprint for their behavior. This is why you cannot escape the consequences of your own self-perception. Every moment you doubt your boundaries, every time you question your own value, you broadcast a signal. People pick up on it. They smell uncertainty. They sense weakness. And like predators, they will test the edges of your resolve, not because they are inherently evil, but because you are showing them where your defenses are soft. Think about the person who constantly seeks validation, who over-explains their choices, who shrinks from confrontation. They believe they are being considerate or humble, but what they are actually doing is inviting a slow drain of their personal power. They are handing over the reins, signaling that their comfort and confidence are conditional, dependent on the approval of others. This is a fatal flaw in any strategic game. Watch what happens when someone projects this quiet desperation. Others will instinctively push, challenge, and ultimately dismiss them. They won't hear your words, they will feel your unspoken fear. They won't respect your requests, they will exploit your reluctance. Your internal landscape, the messy battleground of your insecurities, becomes the public arena where your respect is lost. Here's how you shut down this feedback loop. You cultivate an ironclad self-perception, a quiet, unshakable conviction in your own worth. Albert Einstein once said that reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. What he understood is that your internal illusion of yourself, the one you consistently hold and embody, becomes the very persistent reality others perceive and react to. It shapes their experience of you. This doesn't mean arrogance or loud declarations. It means an internal state of absolute certainty. You don't need to announce your importance. You don't need to prove your value. You simply operate from a place where your standards are non-negotiable, where your time is precious and your word is final. This quiet strength speaks louder than any demand for respect. If you go around demanding respect, people will see desperation. They will label you arrogant. They will look for ways to deflate your ego, to cut you down to size. But if you simply are someone who commands respect through your actions and your unwavering self-regard, there's nothing for them to fight against. There's no performance to critique, only a reality to accept. Theodore Roosevelt famously advised to speak softly and carry a big stick. What he understood is that true influence comes not from noisy threats or bluster, but from the quiet, undeniable presence of power. It is the readiness, the capability, the inner confidence that you project, which makes others think twice before challenging you. Your stick doesn't need to be waved. Its existence is enough. So, how do you build this inner fortress? You stop seeking external validation for your choices. You define your own boundaries and enforce them without apology. You become accountable only to yourself and your highest standards. It is a daily discipline of aligning your actions with the person you know you are, or the person you intend to become. The consequence is immediate and profound. Chapter 12. The Unbreakable Code. The Unbreakable Code. True power is never given, only taken. We dissect the 3 betrayals that weaken your rule and forge the silent strength that commands respect. When you stop giving away your power, they have nothing to take. When you define your own worth, their opinions become irrelevant noise. This is the bedrock of respect, not what you demand, but what you command from yourself. It is the silent, unyielding standard you uphold, even when no one is watching. The 3 sins, the leaks, the lies, the flinches, are all forms of self-betrayal. You bleed energy chasing their approval. You undermine your truth when you soften your stance to appease them. You teach them exactly how to disrespect you when you hesitate on your boundaries. These are not just mistakes. They are wounds you inflict, inviting others to finish the job. Think about individuals who command true respect. They are not the loudest nor most aggressive. They possess an inner stillness, a certainty that broadcasts do not cross. Their silence speaks louder than any demand. Their refusal to engage in petty drama becomes its own barrier, an invisible wall others instinctively recognize. Here's how you forge this unbreakable code. Identify every instance where you compromise your truth for comfort, every moment you prioritize another's fleeting approval over your core values. These are the weak points. These are the cracks that allow disrespect to seep in, eroding your personal power. Seal them. This requires ruthless self-assessment. As Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary swordsman, wrote, "Perceive that which cannot be seen." What he understood is that true mastery comes from seeing invisible currents, subtle power exchanges. You must see your own hidden compromises, the tiny concessions no one else notices, but which degrade you. Every time you defend yourself when no defense is needed, you betray your own authority. Every time you explain yourself to someone determined not to understand, you drain your energy. Every time you apologize for existing, for having needs, for setting a boundary, you hand them a weapon. But if you quietly set your standard, if you simply walk away from those who violate it, if you make your self-worth non-negotiable, there is nothing for them to attack, no weakness to exploit. Your boundaries become not fences, but sheer cliff faces. They realize quickly their usual tactics are useless. This path is not always easy. It demands courage. It demands a willingness to stand alone, sometimes facing disapproval. But as Martin Luther King Jr. famously stated, the time is always right to do what is right. He knew that integrity is not a situational choice. It is a constant, unwavering commitment to your deepest principles regardless of external pressure. When you embody this commitment, your very presence shifts. You project an aura of self-possession. They sense you are not for sale, that your esteem is not up for negotiation. This is not about arrogance. It is about self-respect, so deeply ingrained, it becomes an impenetrable shield. The code is simple. Do not betray yourself. Do not lie to yourself. Do not flinch from yourself. This is the foundation from which all other respect flows. Without it, you are a house built on sand, vulnerable to every passing storm of judgment. With it, you are a fortress. Understand this, they do not respect what you say. They respect what you say. They respect what you are, and what you are is defined by the absolute, unwavering standard you hold for yourself. Go now, build your code, and watch as the world either bends to your will or breaks against your resolve.